Hello everybody. How's everyone doing? Kevin Chan here. This time is 7:30 in the morning and it's a lovely little Saturday with bird chirping. For those of you who can hear the bird chirping, good for you. Noisy bird, right? So cat is not here today. Children is still sleeping. So how's everyone doing? Yay! The chat screen, the comment screen is up this time. Not like the other day, the comment screen just went dead with me. Right. So yeah, no, it's a very important particular forecast right now because why we are entering into the month of Grand Duke. Year of Snake meeting the month of Snake, which is called the Grand Duke month, right? So no, not Grand Duke is nothing more than a terminology that is used to describe the chairman of the year. So every year there's a chairman, which is happen to be the planet Saturn, by the way, right? So no, it's where the location of Saturn is, right? So that one is by astrological means that that particular direction having the highest energy concentration, highest energy sending towards the planet of Earth, right? So that's basically where it is. So when you got the month and also the year compound together, this is basically what we call the triggering month. So if you can see behind me the graphic, this is the pressure cooker, the point when the pressure cooker thingy jump. I don't know whether you guys play with pressure cooker before. Right, got a friend who love to play with pressure cooker. Right, she's like having this entire religion based on pressure cooker. Oh, it's so wonderful. Last time took me 4 hours to cook. Now 30 minutes I can get it done. She's so excited about it. Yeah, so when you play with the pressure cooker, right? So before you are allowed to open the pressure cooker, there's this little pin there, which is a thin metal, by the way. Pang! And then it goes, or it go, go and watch Colonel Sanders uh fried chicken, right? So fried chicken, yeah, I know Colonel Sanders fried chicken. There was a what we call a period of time whereby they highly advertise the pressure cooker way of frying the chicken, right? So that's basically how it works, right? So this is the month, right? It's the pressure cooker month, which means that everything that you have ever waited for, this is going to be the trigger month. Now, trigger month doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's bad. It just basically means things get amplified, right? Get amplified, right? So you get to see the result. It's like opening the pressure cooker and you get to see whatever that you're cooking. Because before this, you lock everything in the pressure cooker, you can't see anything inside. Right, so right now you open up, you got to see the result of your cooking, right? So whether it's good or bad, depending, right? So no, good morning first, to Akahing there. I can see Jocelyn is around, Pepper is around as usual, Sylvia, Winnie is around, right? So now, and also Cindy, right? So now Winnie right now is traveling, I don't know, Armenian, Georgian area, right? So you can see her posting in her Facebook. Rich little woman. Okay, right. So no, that's gonna be the month. No, we're gonna talk about this particular month for the all the 10-day master, right? So all the 10-day master, we're gonna talk about it, right? So no, let's take a look at what are the things that you can prepare yourself for. Hello, Sabrina. Good morning to you. Let me just shrink myself down to the smaller version, right? So no, as usual, getting in touch with me, Telegram, good place to get in touch with me. Plenty of things to download. The newsletter, right? So there are people who come and ask me, hey, I haven't received the newsletter yet. Maybe because it haven't been published. Right, okay, right. So the you should have already gotten your Qimen write-up. The 10-day master write-up actually only yesterday 7:30 was sent out. So today you should be receiving your feng shui write-up. Alright, so for those of you who are already signed up for the newsletter, you should receive it today. Right, so forgot I scheduled at what time already. So as usual, you need some community support and right. So up there, in the community channel, I can see that some of you has already produced some content, to be posted, sharing what you are reading, what the books that you are reading, those are kind of things. Thank you very much for contributing into the community channel. Right. So I encourage the rest of you who have anything to share at all, from whatever channel, just share it into the community channel. Make it a little bit more lively. Hello, Shalise, how you doing? Right, so not printed your party chart yet. Typing Astro is the one that I'm using right now, right? So you can go and use and get your party chart printed, and you can go and find your Daymaster. Your Daymaster don't change, right? For the millionth of times you once you printed, you find your Daymaster don't change at all. Okay, cool. You just have to remember your Daymaster one time in your life. That's it. right? It will fix that particular day master for the rest of the your lifetime. Some people somehow worried that the day master would change. One, do I need to print my party chart every month? No, you print it one time enough already. Right? So every month, whichever month you play print also, it's gonna give you the same chart. Cool, right? So go and find out your day master. So 10 of them, right? Each and every one of us has one of it, right? So this particular forecast is based on the day master. So if you want those forecasts that is based on the animal birth sign, especially year animal birth sign, there are plenty of it in the market itself, right? So just go and search for it. So people will tell you that, oh, this year just born in the year of snake, what's the energetic level? They will tell you that all of them is available, but not from me lah. Right, so go and watch it from that side. Come, let's take a look at it, right? So yeah, in the progression of the month, we are at the 4th month of the year, right? So the year always begin in Tiger, right? So which is normally is February. It's normally February 4th until February 9th, this sort of timing. So it is the Lap Chun, right? So it's the Lap Chun, so which is where the what we call a change of the solar time is, right? So this is the 4th month, right? So 4th month means that we finish one chunk, a third of the year is gone already. So this is a very crucial month itself. It's called the Grand Duke month because it's the year where the year and the month is the same. So every year also got Grand Duke. Tell you first, it's not something special. Right? It's not something special. So the two date that is usually more significant in a year is usually the Grand Duke and the year breaker. So the year breaker this year is the peak, which is in November. Right? So that is going to be another crucial year. Right? So Grand Duke, year breaker. The rest of them are usually very not too important. These are the only two that we usually care about a lot, right? So the Grand Duke. So this is the Grand Duke month with the metal snake, right? So if you take a look at this year is the wood snake. Now you got the metal snake month. So anyhow, you know that metal and also wood is a clash. So you can see that this particular month, this particular year, the Grand Duke isn't that kind to the year, right? So there's gonna be a bit of a conflict, right? So because the conflict is at the top, so it's gonna be things that you're gonna be seeing, very what we call very obviously being seen, right? The conflict is gonna be very obvious, right? So but again, no, don't need to be worried about it, right? So every year also got this sort of things happening, right? So it's just that the intensity is different. Right, so more importantly, how you're gonna handle it. So this is what we're gonna be discussing in this particular section, right? So I can see that newly joined Cock PJ, right? So Joshua Lee just joined in, Gigi just joined in, Yo Daniel, right? So the new name, Zhou San, right? So no, you're from Hong Kong. Every time see Zhou San, I hear Hong Kong. Right, so now if we take a look at the auxiliary star, so every year got auxiliary star, the snake auxiliary star, you got two relief god. Relief god, heaven relief, right? So which means that whatever that you're seeing this particular month that is basically blowing up, magnify, getting more intense, it will fix itself on its own. Right? You just have to sit tight, right? So and you got a very special 8 seat. 8 seat allow you to join a higher echelon of people. People start to accept you into the group, right? So it's good lah, right? So the golden carriage in the olden days getting married is the carriages that carries all the dowry to the place that you are gonna the ladies that you want to get married, so it's the guy sending the purchasing price over. It's like no, marriage is not about buying. No, it is, right? Whether you like it or not, today maybe not lah, but at that point in time it's really selling a sorry to say really selling a baby making machine to another. Right, yeah, golden carriage is basically selling the dowry over, right? So that's what the golden carriage does. It is the this is the you want to call machinery technology, the vehicle that is used to transport things that is very important today. Golden carriage means buying something outright. Okay, right? So buying something outright, so you may be in a which means that this particular month, right, there could be a situation whereby those people who cannot maintain certain things have to sell it to another party who can maintain it. It is a way of exiting, right? So don't really see no, my business gonna be gone, right? So no, to put it in a way, if you know how to run a business properly, you wouldn't be in this particular stage. It's because you don't know how to run a business properly. That's why you are in such a bad stage. you may as well let your business live by selling it to another person who know how to run the business. Okay, right? So for whatever thing also is the same, right? So there's gonna be an outright purchase coming in. So for some people may be good, some people may be bad, depending on your circumstance. I like to take things in a more positive manner, right? So that's why a lot of the forecast also I write it in a more empowering direction rather than the doom mongering style that most master will be adopting, right? So come, let's take a look at it, right? So special mention, right? So there's always a two pillar, which is what we call the heaven and earth combined pillar, and also the heaven and earth clash pillar. So heaven and earth clash pillar is the yi high. So if you got yi high on any of your pillar, whether it is year, whether it's month, whether it's day, whether it's hour, you can see that the impact is basically much more higher, right? Clash mean rejection, right? So the rejection is basically meant combine mean welcoming, a merger, right? So ping shen, right? So you got ping shen, the combining effect is much more stronger. Again, combine doesn't mean good, right? So reject doesn't mean bad, right? So like for example, if there's gonna be a psycho fans, the one with knife, right? Okay, right. So your Yi Hai Day Master, Shangling Yo, right? So Yi Hai Day Master, right? So now, since you are Yi Hai Day Master, first, you need to take a look at relationship first, right? So because the day pillar anyhow is your relationship perspective. So your relationship perspective is having a bit of a rejection to this particular month. If you are already having issue with your partner, this particular month can explode, no? So you better shut up a bit, let the month pass. Right. Number two that you might want to take a look is actually your overall health related matter. So if you already know you got health issue, then this particular month may be the month whereby is stressful enough to trigger a event. Also means Omi Topper, chill a bit lah. Okay, can lah. Right. So it's just a 1 month energy only, right? So don't get too overly excited with it, right? So yes, right. So don't get too excited about the energy level. All right. So come, let's take a look at it. So this particular month, the first energy is actually Jia, right? So you can just see the chart that I give you. First energy is Jia. So we're gonna go through it by the sequence law, right? So no need to go through what. Right. So let's take a look at Jia. Right. So Jia got the direct officer and also already having pain on the whole body, right? Give your body some time to rest, right? So I don't know, if you are one of the people who like to go for massage, spa, maybe it's a good time to sign up for a massage and also spa. Okay, right? So go out and do that, right? So now back to Jia, right? So Jia, you got direct officer, eating got, right? So now these two, in term of energetic reading, they are both good energy, right? So they are now, they are both basically good energy, right? So direct officer is being the governance of discipline. Eating God is the governance of creativity, right? So you got discipline and creativity together, right? So now this energy is basically about consolidating your idea, right? Consolidating idea or consolidating your viewpoint, consolidating the things that you want to be together, right? So if you are one of those people who grew up in the 80s, in the 90s, right? So we got a lot of uh TV shows, right? So there was based on these particular ideas of little robots that can come together, like Voltron, right? So Voltron, whichever it is, Voltron, Power Ranger, whichever you name it, there's definitely gonna be a things we know whereby everybody got little power, even very old, even things like Captain Planet. You would say, damn, we watch Captain Planet. Yeah, so what, like hero coming together and then they merge into a bigger hero. It's something like that, right? It's basically something like that for the Jia Wood person, right? So which means that you have different, maybe small little fractured idea, and you need to find a systematic way, or you need to find a disciplined way to merge them together. Right, so merge them together. By the way, Apple is very good at doing this. Apple have never invented anything. By the way, if you don't know, Apple have never invented anything. So what they do is that they took somebody else's invention. This one look interesting. That one look interesting. This one look interesting. That one look, and then magically put everything together and then come up with a product and give it to you, and then you say like, oh, this is like the best thing that ever happened in the world. All right, the fella just consolidated idea only, right? So Apple is very good at idea consolidation, right? So it's your jiawut this particular month, right? So if you need somebody to help consolidate some idea for you, you can talk to a jiawut person. If you are not a jiawut, you don't have this capability, you want to have this result, talk to the people who has this capability. That's all you do only, right? So that's all basically you do, right? So talk to the person who has this particular capability. So one idea may be weak, but if you throw a few idea and put them together, the idea become more solid, right? It become more solid, it become easier for you to go on to the execution side of stuff, right? So of course, on the negative side, is basically the idealism, right? So now you see, direct officer is a very disciplined person. Keeping God got this perfectionist. So you got a very disciplined perfectionist person, which means everything need to be in order before you can move forward. If that is the case, you might miss the window of execution, right? So one thing good about Apple is that they throw everything out, whether it's ready or not ready. Yes, right. So the first Apple phone that was ever thrown out, if you guys doesn't know, the first Apple phone, even the first 4 generation of Apple phone that all got thrown out, right? So doesn't really work well one, because why, internet was a crap. The phone was based on apps that's basically linked to the internet. Internet was a piece of crap. So the phone doesn't really work, the apps doesn't really work. Right? But they still throw it out. Duh. Right? So like for example, right now, there's massive amount of EV out there. Do you know that there's a lot of EV that basically fail? But if those failed EV don't throw it out, really, there's a lot of, if you are in China, you will see that, the entire shopping complex, the lower floor, every one of the shop lot is basically selling EV like fridges. All different brand, different brands EV, all different brand. You don't even know if you buy an EV from them, right? 2 years later, maybe 2 months later, they tell you that they close shop already. Your EV car right now cannot service. Just like handphone, right? So handphone also got so many more model, right? But if you buy a handphone and the handphone shop, or the handphone manufacturer suddenly closed down, right? It's okay. Your handphone can still work for some time because you don't really need to service or whatever your handphone, right? So, but what about an EV car? Can you do that? It's expensive. It's an expensive investment, right? So if you're talking about an EV car, maybe 10,000, 15,000, like a handphone price, then okay lah, but not okay lah, right? So no, just be careful of that lah. Don't miss the window of execution, because why? This particular energy is just for 1 month only, right? So how much planning can you do for 1 month? Here, right? So go and do some execution, consolidate whatever you have, put it as a package, throw it out to the market. Because whether something is good or bad, only the market decide, and it's not decided by you. There's no such thing that, oh, I know my value. No, right? So no, you don't have a value until you go out to the market and the market confirm your value. Okay. That's the only way for you to have value. Right. So Jocelyn, right? So you have a scene high as a day master. Later when we reach scene, then we talk. Right. So come, let's take a look at the next one. Right. So it's very easy, right? So Yeetwood, right? So Yeetwood got 7 killing hurting officer. Now both 7 killing hurting officer, you guys knows, that they are not the best of energy, at least in the traditional sense. At least in the traditional sense. So 7 killing a lot of time is very associated with being reckless, aggressive. So hurting officer is, of course, as usual, is a bit vain, it's a bit loud, it's a bit, trying to attract attention, right? So this one you can imagine what you see right now is a turbo engine, right? Rough, reckless, aggressive, and loud. You have ever heard, those muscle car, Mustang, boom, 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 maybe sometime, you got hear before. In Malaysia, you got a lot, the not very proper one, which is Ganjil, or the king of the road, Myvi, right? They put the very big exhaust pipe, and then you hear, you go, whoa, after half an hour, you still see the car, which means that it only got big sound, is not going the speed that is required, right? So this particular month, Yi would do think a bit on the reckless side, a bit reckless, a bit brass. It's like afraid people don't know that you exist. If you are in the industry whereby you need to, rah rah everything, and you cannot survive without eyeball, then it's fine, right? For most of us, doing this usually will attract unrequired amount of attention, right? So this one, is I was saying that is like pressing the. I always like that people like to press the turbo button. People love this idea of a turbo button to go faster, but they never inside their brain has ever thought of the entire things that do you know how to control a fast car? When you hit the turbo button, the car jolt forward. Can you actually control the car? Right? So same thing with it, lah, right? So yeah, right. So turbo strategically, if you know what is happening, you know how to control the car, you hit the button, it give you a win. Right? So you have seen enough Fast and Furious before. Okay? Right? So it give you a win. But for those people who doesn't know how to control a car, you hit the turbo button, you will kiss whatever obstacle that's in front of you, which is not a very good things to happen. Right? So depend on how your situation. So traditionally, they do not like this sort of combination of energy because it is too loud, too brass, too aggressive, too reckless. So it usually causes a lot of trouble for the people around you. So in the olden day, if you are a town, you attract too much attention, bandit will come find your town. Right? So you don't want bad people to find your town. You don't go hoo ha your town all over the places. Sometimes maybe the authority will specifically come and pay you a visit, maybe to collect tax. Right. They do not want these sort of things to happen in the olden day. In the olden day, what they treasured is actually what we call peaceful. Right. So GG applicable to Jia in Man Pillar. No, it doesn't applicable to Jia in Man Pillar because it's the day master that decide your 10 god. Your Man Pillar doesn't decide your 10 god. Cool. So not applicable to the month pillar. Right. So no, this one is applicable to the day master seeing this because you'll be seeing 7K and 13 officer. Right. So when you see this, energetically you feel like you are invincible. So good for breakthrough, lah, right? So if you really want to break through, you've got certain fear, this is a situation whereby you throw everything out into the window, die lah, come on, let's go. It's like really the last straw. Lor. Let's hit the turbo button and see whether can win, cannot win. Right? So you never think that, at the end of the road is actually the sea. Right? Don't know what is the break of it, right? So no. Yeah, Daniel just come in on time, right? So yeah, right, we just on the second one today, which is the Yeet Wood, right? So we did the Jia Wood already. So if you're Jia Wood, you missed it, go back and have a look. Right. So now we are talking about Yeet Wood itself, right? So now again, don't need to be too afraid of it, right? So don't need to be too afraid of the energy because today in our current situation, we don't really jump ourselves into dangerous situation. In the olden days, yes. In the olden days, having killing, hurting officer mean challenging people to a duel. Yeah, no, it's Western is the gun duel, so in the bar, right? So challenge people into the duel, right? So Chinese then it's gonna be the sword fight, right? It's the sword fight, right? So it's the same, lah, right? So it's basically a big hoo-ha, in middle of the town, it's either you die, I die, this kind of situation, right? So today we don't do this sort of stuff, so it's fine. Worst case scenario, you just explode and become shameful, right? And if you win, then you become what we call the great successor, right? So that's the situation, right? So use the energy in the correct manner, right? So a lot of time I tell you, if you use this energy for breakthrough, good lah, right? Take advantage of it, especially in a situation where the rest of the people doesn't have the guts to go and do. You go do lah. And what worse can you get yourself into situation? You don't do, fail anyway. You do, might have a chance of succeeding, might fail. Right? It's either sure fail or might fail. I'd rather go for might fail. Right. So now just nice, right? So you are Bing, right? So now we go into Bing right now. Right. So you're going to Bing right now, right? So Bing direct wealth friend stuff. It's actually very gentle energy. Just tell you for that direct wealth friend star is very gentle energetically. It's very gentle. right? So of course, every time you see direct wealth, very happy, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get money. No, direct wealth give you more work on it. No more money, more work on it, right? So more work, you have the option of sharing the work with the rest of the people. You come together to get things done, right? So this one, example I give is actually the stage light. So this is the time whereby all the stage light, right? So all shine at one point, right? All the stage light all shine at one point, bringing certain things up, right? So wow, no wonder I signed up. Challenge Mount Ranjani hiking is a breakthrough, right? Sure. No lah, won't fail one lah, right? So don't worry about it lah, right? Sengling, right? So now again, Sengling, don't worry about the part of the failing, but the one that you need to really take care of is that physically really can tahan or not. Don't over push yourself. I've seen so many people. Doesn't matter whether it's climbing mountain, running the what you call marathon thingy, doing the Ironman thingy, it's like they over push themselves after that particular event already, right? Then no good, right? So now take a look at yourself. Xiangling, is like going for hiking, right? If you need to take this sort of mentality in travel. It's not that, please don't go to the place like, oh, this is the only one time I'm going to be in this place, I need to go and do this, right? So please don't do that. Always tell yourself that, I'm going to come back to this place again. Yep, that's the best way to travel is not to go there and it's like this is going to be the one time I'm going to go there, I'm not going to come back, please don't have those type of mentality when you're doing traveling. When doing traveling, just tell yourself that this is the first time I'm visiting this particular place, I'm going to cover this, and the next time I'm going to come back again, I'm going to cover that, next time I'm going to come back, or tell yourself that, even if you're not coming back. Right, so now back to that particular thing, right? So now direct friend star traditionally is about sharing wealth. It's about sharing wealth, coming together, everybody working together on a common goal, we all share the wealth out, together, give some work to this particular person. It's actually a very generous act. It's a very generous act, not very selfish, which is very, very what we call appropriate for a Bing Fire. Bing Fire among all the 10-day master is the most generous one. It's a very generous one, Bing Fire. Give out things to people, without requiring for thanks. Right. So same thing, right? So these are all the lights, shining on certain people to bring the person up. Right. So they are not highlighting the lights, they are highlighting the person on the stage, right? Which is a very noble thing together, right? So which means that this particular month is about sharing, right? So now again, when we talk about sharing, please do not focus yourself. I need to throw my money out. No, right? It's basically, you probably have a project, or you are currently doing something. You feel like if you pull this particular person in, it would be beneficial for this particular person. Although you don't need this particular person, the entire idea is that you actually do not need this particular person to participate, but you generously give up the opportunity for others to join in and participate, to contribute into the particular project that you are doing. Right. So when the money comes in, when the project is basically done, you also share out the thing. Right. So this is like community work. I don't know, like if you've been to a small town before, right? Every single project is community work. Yeah, right. So you want to repair the road. Last time my time is picking up trash. So we call gotong royong. Our place, will always have every now and then, they'll say that, oh, we'll go to this particular area or maybe park this particular place. Then we will try to clean up the place. Gotong royong lah for us, right? So we do that, right? So last time, right? So this same thing, right? So everybody come together to contribute towards something that is of value. Right, so you are the ping, then you probably can lead person to do this, right? So of course, as usual, when people come together, there's going to be a few people who is not pulling their weight, stab them. All right. Regenerate if someone. Right. Kidney, right? Liver regenerate. So right, like for example, right now there's a lot of people who will say that employee say that I sell my liver to the company. Right, sell my liver to the company mean that you are always working overtime, right? So because when you work overtime, that time your liver is the one that's basically suffering. right? Always working overtime for the company is called selling your liver to the company. Funny, isn't it, you guys, right? So nothing fire. Let's take a look at Think Fire, right? So nothing fire. This particular month is indirect wealth and also raw wealth. So now raw wealth signify competition. So you guys know, right? So competition means that there's gonna be somebody who's gonna take stuff away, right? So if it's together with your wife, then somebody's gonna take money away, lah. You know, that's the traditional low class way of doing a reading. You know, oh, somebody's gonna grab the money from you. No, lah. Please don't do rule there. Right, so now what happened here is that your effort might be overshadowed by somebody else. That's it. All right, so this one is if you see the graphic, is basically you guys know the fire starter, right? So fire starter, you got a stove, you will have a fire starter. Doesn't matter whether it's the more newer type that have an electric starter inside that you just press in, it go cha 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 cha. Right, so starter, right? So now here's the thing, right? When you are cooking that time, right? It is because of the fire starter that the stove can have fire. Right, everybody know that, but the food isn't cooked by the fire starter. So in the end, nobody thanks the fire starter for starting the stove, right? Everybody thanks the stove for cooking the food, right? You can see the logic behind it, right? So if you are think fire this particular month, right? So don't expect thank you for the things that you have initiated, right? So because it's gonna be somebody else that's gonna outshine you, somebody else is going to take the credit. So what you do is that you need to handle low hanging fruit, right? You need to handle low hanging fruit, quickly build up your profile, right? So which means that have any single small win collected, right? This particular, again, this one is just for 1 month only, so don't get utterly upset with the situation, right? So learning how to let go, right? Right, Kaheng, yes, Ping can basically do that, right? So you can cheer everybody out, let's go, everybody, heave, ho. No, Ping can do that. Right, so nothing fire is really the quiet supporter behind the scene. Quiet supporter behind the scene, the fella who, give the gentle gentle push to the rest of the team for them to, start, right? So you could probably be the person behind the scene, um, igniting the passion of the rest of the people. But when the entire project is done already, probably not many people will remember your contribution. Right? But that is fine, right? You have to remember that you have contributed. Is maybe if it's not because of you, this will not, right? So this could be a situation, whereby you go on and then you suggested, let's go Thailand and do some shopping, right? So then everybody wow, we wow, right? So, and it was a very successful shopping trip, but nobody remember that it was you who suggested Thailand. It's fine, right? It's basically fine now, right? So now why is basically fine? I just imagine, if you really insisted that the pot of cooking was done by you, do you think the fire starter has enough fire to cook the pot of thing? No. That could probably be the thing, is because you might not be ready to carry the project. You might be the person who started the project, but you might not be ready to carry the project. So if that is the case, right, it's actually, again, the mentality here is the best for the project, is not best for you. Anything you do in this particular world, also you need to be, for the big picture, not for you. Okay, right? So it's best for the society, best for the whatever it is. The result usually speak louder. Cool. Right, so now let's take a look at Earth, right? So Earth got hurting officer, indirect resource, right? So again, we see hurting officer, that time a lot of people say it may not be the best energy ever, right? So and then together with indirect resource some more, right? Okay, right. So now indirect resource actually give you option, right? So don't overlook, don't look down on indirect resource. Indirect resource is an energy that is very curious. So you will always, try to expand, whatever it is, right? So hurting officer is basically the energy of concentration, right? Energy of concentration, energy of focusing things into, right? So if you take a look, anything that is of value, you want to stand out, you need to go through a molding process. Okay, right. So the worth is basically this time the mold lah. Among all the option that is available, you are the one who's gonna say that this is important. You have that ability this particular month. So basically you're the mold lah, right? So you are able to shape certain things out. So you're able to point out which of the option basically stands out. You have that particular ability, like this particular one. So important. In a way, yes, no. In a way, yes, right? So all the option, all the knowledge that is available, if nobody can see it, then all the knowledge is useless. Right? Understand the entire idea, right? So right now you have the ability to stand out and say so, which means this particular one, if you give your opinion on something, or you certainly want to represent certain things, it the effect actually become higher. People pay more attention to you, right? So now under normal circumstances, Wu represent trust. Absolute unwavering trust is basically Wu mountain. Today you see it, it look like that. 100 years later, you see it, it look like that. It's supposed to be like that lah. I know nowadays, you can blow the mountain up very easily, right? So yeah, right. So you have that particular ability to concentrate things, right? So in a molding process also is the same. A mold is basically just something that concentrate the liquid that goes in, right? So that it become a certain shape. That's basically the mold. So you have the ability to shape information. You have the ability to shape. You want to call shape reality also can, right? So you have the information. You have the ability to go and shape things. So use the ability in a correct manner. All right. So again, if you have some knowledge, you want to basically see that which of this particular knowledge is much more useful. Maybe you want to talk to a wolf. The wolf will be able to point out to you, no, these are great. Right, so that's basically Earth. Now then you take a look at GF. GF got EG direct resource. Right? So now direct resource is always about deepening of a certain knowledge. Indirect resource widening. Right? So it's about widening and deepening of a certain knowledge, right? So EG is, a lot of time is about the idea of creating something that's new. Right. So I don't know whether this is something that's amazing, although it's not the kindest thing to do in the world. What they do is that a bunch of research people, right? So it's actually a professor leading a bunch of students. So what they do is that they melted aluminum and they pour it into an ant hill. So which all the ants go okay, right? So they pour quite a lot amount of it inside. Right. So then after a few hours, the entire thing cool down, they start to dig. They start to dig the anthill, right? So they want to see that how was the extent of the anthill structure. Right. So it was actually a very curious thingy, they go and find out, and they find that the anthill or the labyrinth of the anthill actually go for miles. So it was a very, very big structure. Right. So you see, if you don't go and do this sort of stuff, right, you will never discover that the anthill is like such. You don't know, right? So right now you go deep, you go and discover, right? So a certain idea do deserve time for it to develop, right? That's all only. So if you need certain idea to be developed, GF this particular month seems to be good, right? So with these two energy together, which means that this particular month GF is gonna be very quiet. If you see the GF being quiet this particular month, the fella is thinking about really deep philosophical things. Nothing wrong with it. Right? If the GF is a bit more quiet this particular month, it's basically fine. They are trying to refine the vision. Right? Refine the vision, go deep, thinking things in a very deep manner. Right. So of course, every single time also is the same, right? So if you do all of these things, you spend a lot of time in something, right? In the end, does it hold any value or not? Like for example, knowing the labyrinth of the end. What's the point? What's the entire point, right? So this particular structure right now is sitting in an attic or in a university museum. It doesn't do anything. No one is paying for it. Okay, right? So it doesn't even become an exhibit that can earn money, right? So yeah, right. So sometimes when you are doing deep thinking, right? So you really need to idea is in the end what do you want to do with it. They should be a resulting conclusion that come from your deep thinking. Please don't go and do deep thinking because you want to be philosophical and just want to do deep thinking. Right? No point. All right. So now let's take a look at Geng metal. So Geng metal got the rock wealth and also 7 killing. So now this is the reverse. Right? So just now you got 7 killing rock wealth in the heat wood. right? So now Geng, is the rock wealth and also 7 killing, right? So same thing, it's a very competitive situation, right? So you can see very competitive situation, at the same time you got the 7 killing, right? So now this is like your great mighty car, tire axle broke. Right, so now, yes, we got an incident here in Malaysia, wherever one of the brand of the car, was released out, and then they found out that the axle of the tire was badly made, right? So, it keep on breaking and flung off. Right, so then when they checked that time, they found out that, it was shoddy workmanship. But anyway, right, so, that's the situation. So, which means that there's gonna be a weak link inside the thing that you're doing. So this one, in terms of business, if you think about it, is that you probably have a business, thingy, but there are certain part in your business that is very weak, and your competitor might be able to exploit this weakened part of your business to take things away from you. A lot of big business losers is because of that, by the way. There's a lot of big business that is like very big one, they lost because of this small little weakness that they have, this small little danger that they did not see. So by the time the danger manifests itself, everything collapses. Right. So to you right now is that if it's already collapsed, then please own up to it, right? Own up to it and do better. If it's actually no problem at this current moment, it's good for you to go for a diagnostic check for yourself. Nothing happened, go for a diagnostic check. If something happened, then please own up to the mistake, fix it. Right. So a lot of time, please don't blame external environment for things that is happening onto you. External environment subject itself to everybody. If somebody survive, which means that you have something that you didn't do that you need to do. Right? So it's time for you to strengthen yourself. Right? So strengthen yourself, make sure that you patch up all the weaknesses that you have. So do that, lah. Right? So just now, sin matter. Who's sin matter? Right? Sin matter not bad, lah. Right? So sin matter not bad. Again, friend star, direct officer star, these are often labeled as a, what we call positive energy. Right? Positive energy, right? So this is like organizing people of equal value together, right? So you can see sin metal as as precious thing. So you need to organize, because of the direct officer, you organize the precious thing together. It actually give you synergetic effect in doing stuff. Right? So this is where you have your uh luxury car, and then you got your pretty model. Now tell me something, what does luxury car have to do with pretty model? Zero. Right? People who drive luxury car are rarely ladies. Very rare that ladies will drive luxury car. Right? So but why do they always pair luxury car with pretty more model? Right? Because why it give effect to the customer ma. Like for example, now you never see those expensive car like Rolls Royce, Bentley, they don't advertise in normal magazine one. In car magazine, you never see Rolls Royce, Bentley advertising. They advertise in aeroplane magazine. Go check it out. Right? So Rolls Royce, Bentley, they also don't go for car exhibition. They go for jet exhibition. Those Lear jet, all those private jet. Right? So you will see that they exhibit there. Because why? That's the best place to find their customer. They know that those customers cannot afford, right? Cannot afford buying it. But if you are somebody who come and buy a jet, 50, 60 million a jet, you take a look at the what we call the Bentley or the Rolls Royce. Just few million bucks only. Right? Worth it, ma? Right? I can't afford to flaunt a private jet today, but buy a Rolls Royce bag also can. Both pretty woman and also a nice car are asset for successful man. Hopefully yes lah, right? Hopefully yes lah, right? So now just now somebody said that my day pillar is basically sin higher. Day pillar. Right, so and this particular month is basically a sin month, right? So you can see that sin and sin is together. Now again, depending on what you want to read first, right? Anyhow, clashes mean that there is a change in perspective in terms of relationship first. It is not that you will kill your partner, please, right? So it's not that, right? So it's just a perception change in terms of your relationship. So when you have the friend star coming in, right? So it could be your friends got opinion about your choice of partner, right? That's all. Yeah. Not really, no, not really something that's very special. So which means that you have to somehow be careful of your friend. Or be careful is two things. Your friend find that your partner is awesome, she wants in. Right? Because DO, right? Because DO, so it doesn't apply to guy. I just tell you first. It doesn't apply to guy because things coming in is basically DO. So if things coming in DO for guys is usually career related, power struggle. For guys is power struggle. So you're, you got a friend, you're probably very buddy with this particular fella, but suddenly, this particular fella is coming in and giving a bit of a trouble in terms of the power dynamic that you're going through. Right? So that's basically guy because the clashing part is a direct officer clashing. Right? So for ladies, it also can be, power struggle, but lady often do not participate too much in a power struggle. Right? So DO, you can say that, it's basically your partner, right? So it could be, somebody come in, give you opinion about your partner, right? Or somebody come in trying to get themselves inserted in between you and your partner. So now depending on your situation again, so don't take the diagnostic, lock, stock, and barrel. You need to take a look at your situation. Right. So then it's basically a discipline issue. Anytime you got your direct officer which is in clash, it's a lot of time is principle and also what we call your discipline issue. Right. So now this could be a health related matter. Could be a health related matter again, right? So it's clashing between water and fire, then you need to take a look at water and fire related matter, which is one of them is basically your pressure lah. So you can see sin is attacking the yeet wood in the ear. It could be a time whereby your blood vessel is going through a bit of a higher pressure. That could be the situation, right? So go and do a checkup lah, see whether your blood pressure is okay or not okay. Not too difficult, ma. Okay, cool. Right, so come, mouse disappear again. Right, so always personal favorite, run water. Right, so you got the direct resource and also indirect wealth, which is also two pretty gentle energy. They are not angry energy. Right, they are not angry energy. Right, so now direct wealth, indirect wealth is basically a lot of time talking about opportunity. Right, so talking about opportunity, they're talking about, so of course there's money, right? So direct resource is your overall knowledge. Right, so now question, knowledge can be sold or not? Actually, knowledge is one of the best things to sell in the world, because why? No matter how much knowledge you sell, you don't become any less. And little boy just come up. Oh, haven't even finished sleeping. Mm. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna hug daddy and then fall asleep here, is it? Huh? Huh?
Can kitty come and scream? If the kitty was here, could the kitty come in the stream?
Yes, kitty can come in the stream. Last time daddy got bring kitty into the stream already. Kitty don't like it. Yeah, little prince just wake up, right? So now back to this one. Now selling knowledge is actually one of the best thing to sell, because why? Anytime you give out knowledge, you don't become dumb. Any other thing in this world where you try to give out, it become lesser. And you give out money, your money become lesser lah. Right? Correct or not? You give out a cake, your cake become lesser. Anything that you try to give out, you give out a table, your table become lesser, right? So understand, right? So even if you are like, talking about, I got a lot of clothes, I'm going to give you out the clothes, clothes still become lesser, right? But knowledge, no matter how much you give to the other party, right, you do not become more stupid. It's cannot like, I teach this to them today. That's why, a lot of time I don't understand, why some people is like, I teach it today after he know already, right? Then you become more dumb one, man. No, ma. All right. Right, so you do not become more dumb. Right? If the fella can use your knowledge in a better manner than you should go and learn from the fella lah. Hello, adik. Right? Well, Wellstar is countering resource star. No, Wellstar always counter resource star. Don't worry about that. Right? Wellstar counter resource star means that those kind of people who Now, resource star, they treasure knowledge, whereas well star treasure action. Right, so it's just the two opposite side of having knowledge, right? So there is always this particular fight between the literate person versus the labor, right? So well star actually represent labor, right? So the literate person look down on labor. To me is nothing, right? So to me, both this energy is useful at this current moment, right? So think about what are the experience you can share with people, right? So as the more experience you share with people, the more opportunity come to you, because why? People are looking for people who have knowledge, skill set, and experience. And if you share the knowledge, skill set, and experience in the correct manner, those people will come find you. And when they want your knowledge, experience, and skill set, what do they offer as an exchange? Money lah, right? Yeah, ma. Correct or not? Right. So, or you get an opportunity to connect with people, right? You got an opportunity to basically do a bit of a connection with people, right? So, anyway, you have opportunity to sell your knowledge. You go out and hunt for that particular opportunity by sharing enough knowledge. Okay, right. So, don't worry about the other person is going to use the knowledge better than you. So, again, if the person is going to use the knowledge better than you, learn from the other person. Okay. No, the knowledge is with you. If you cannot earn money with the knowledge and somebody else can earn money with the knowledge, do it lah. Right. So like for example, I don't know whether you guys know or not. There are people who are selling, very simple, very, very simple date selection date on it. And they are making good money. Right. Then why are you not selling? Why you complain so much? Right. So yeah, right. So people doing that. Right? Okay, I come. The last one, right? So which is quick water, right? So quick water is indirect resource with direct wealth somehow. So normal circumstances we like direct wealth more than indirect wealth, right? So because direct wealth is more stable, right? So month for paperwork, calling for action, yeah, right? So so direct wealth is more stable, right? So it's just that the effort of the direct wealth is a more stable effort, whereas indirect wealth is a more erratic, right? So sometimes got, sometimes don't have, right? So now again, indirect resource has to do with diversity of your knowledge, right? So now, diversity of your knowledge, how are you gonna focus them to something that is more useful, right? So this is like you got 10 bottle, then you got a jug of water. So if every single jug also you go and put in some water, in the end you will have no full jug. But if you put all your water into one jug until it is full first, then only you distribute to the rest. Then you have one full jug and the rest of it, lower. That's basically what you need to do, lah, right? So you need to basically understand that for all the skill set that you have, that is valuable, that can make money one, which one is the one that's going to give you the most money first at this current moment? Don't go and try to do everything. When you try to sell to everybody, you end up selling to no one, which is true one. So that's why a lot of time, any business course that you take, they will ask you to go for specialization or go for niching. Right? So you get heard of the word before, right? You need to go and find your niche. It's because why? The only reason why you need to find your niche is that you don't have enough resource. If you have enough resource, all the resource in the world, you don't need to niche. You can sell to anybody. Right? But when you don't have, you need to go through a niching process. So that's why direct wealth here help you to direct it to the place whereby, now again, using money as a measuring tool is just one way of doing so, but it's a very convenient way. So if you got 5 skill set, so let's say that you know how to do cooking, you know how to repair car, you know how to read parts, you know how to do video, right? So now you need to take a look at all my 4 skill set right now. Which one is generating the most amount of money? Then you should put most of your time into that particular skill set. That makes sense, right? It's pretty easy. So yes, boy. Now a little bit more wake up than just now. A little bit more wake up than just now, isn't it? Right? What is all the viewers supposed to do?
They meant to subscribe.
They're meant to subscribe. What about liking? They're supposed to like.
Uh, they meant to subscribe
Okay, subscribe
and
enough.
touch the bell and touch Touch the bell.
Touch the bell, remember that, right? So if someone has 90% direct wealth and 95% direct resource, always have issue in his life. A bit lah, a bit, right? So because again, these two energy is somehow is countering each other. They don't really like each other, right? So sometimes again, direct resource do thing in a very safe manner, but direct wealth do thing in a very practical manner. It's very difficult for you to be practically safe. Right. You want to go out? No, it's like you are trying to hunt hunt a reindeer. You want the reindeer to come and die on its own. Doesn't work.
Just shoot the reindeer with one arrow. It bleed outside.
No. This is too aggressive for you. Go violent. Go violent boy. And later daddy bring you out for breakfast. Okay.
Okay.
Still want to go here. Go change. Go change. Go change. Go wash yourself and change. Go. Get ready. All right, so that's basically what we have for the Clearwater. Focus yourself, right? So focus yourself, find that particular one skill set that's basically giving you the best return, and go and concentrate on that one first. Once that is secured already, then you can go and play around with the rest. Don't try to play around with everything in the set.
Why is transparent in your screen?
Because it's designed to make green color go disappear. So your Rappy is green.
Oh.
Your Rappy is green blue. Yes, it's basically a turquoise color. Okay, right, so that's why it goes missing a bit, right? So yeah, science class for Little Prince. Okay, guys, that's basically all for this particular week, right? So this particular week for next month, right? So take care, right? So don't worry, this is not a very scary month, right? So just be careful with the things that you are doing, and enjoy the month and take care, right? So tomorrow we will talk about the feng shui portion of things. Right, so Aya is good with intuition, right? So yes, right. So if trust intuition opportunity is missed.
Then this world.
Okay. Bye bye.